Howdy guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm excited to do today's video. I am finally ranking all of my foundations. So foundation is one category of makeup where I have really strong opinions about the different formulas and the product types. Other products, not so much, but foundations I have strong feelings about and I can definitely rank them. I feel like other things like lipstick or something I wouldn't be able to do this with, so I thought it would be fun to rank my foundations. I made a scoring rubric and everything, and I have it in my makeup inventory spreadsheet, so I calculated everything and gave everything points so I could definitively rank them, because if I had to sit here and look I would be like so I gave myself a little bit of direction on what I was doing. And all these foundations are cruelty-free and vegan. Just before I start ranking them, I don't absolutely hate any of these. Like, I would wear them all. If I wouldn't, they wouldn't be in my collection anymore. But if there's one you like that I rate poorly, it doesn't mean it's a bad foundation. I rank them according to my personal preference. Here are the categories that I rank them in. So the first thing was coverage. So I prefer, personally, a medium to full coverage foundation. So I ranked everything on a scale. All of these are from 1 to 5, 1 being not good and 5 being the best. Then the second thing is finish. I prefer a matte finish, but I could go for a natural finish. So if it's dewy, I'm probably not gonna like it. And then the third thing is longevity. So it has to last for a long time because my skin can kind of get oily throughout the day. And if it doesn't last very long, that's going to be really apparent when my oil starts coming through. But some of these do look better as time goes on, just because my skin is, usually when I put makeup on, I've just washed my face and there's some dry spots, but then throughout the day that kind of looks a little bit better. Fourth thing, I combined formula and packaging. So I took off points for ones that had a bad formula, specifically if they have a smell, because I don't like scents or fragrance in. It's not the fragrance as an ingredient itself, but I physically don't like things that smell, especially foundation, because I find that with a lot of these, the smell doesn't go away. Or a lot of the ones that have a smell, I should say. And then the packaging, if it has a not good delivery apparatus, like if it doesn't come out very well or if it's hard to get all of the product out, I took off points for that. So I kind of lumped that all into one category just so I had 5 categories. And the last one is their overall shade range. So I don't like recommending foundations or any other complexion product that does not have a good shade range on both ends of the spectrum and in the middle, so some of these definitely are better than others. So I took off points for ones that don't have a great range. Looking at the ones on, I have them all organized on my table, in order of which one's the best, and I'm not surprised at the ones toward the front, but I am kind of surprised at the ones in the middle. I have 7 total foundations in my collection, and that's kind of a lot for an average person, but not a ton for a YouTuber. So anyways, I'm going to rank them from best to not best. I don't want to say worst, but from my favorite to my least favorite. So the number 1 spot, there was a tie, and none of these got a perfect score. There was one thing wrong with each of these. So the first ones were the Cover FX Power Play Foundation and the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. So I'll start with the Cover FX Power Play Foundation as well. I'll talk about my ranking and what I came up with. So for coverage, this got a 5 out of 5. It is medium, I'd say mostly medium coverage. Sometimes you can get it to be full. It is a thinner formula as well. The finish of it is a 5 out of 5. It dries down matte. I don't have to powder it if I don't want to, but I usually do anyways. Longevity, this lasts for as long as I need it to, so I give that a 5 out of 5. And the overall shade range of Cover FX is great, so I gave them a 5 out of 5 for that. But the formula / packaging, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because this packaging it's going to be hard to get the last little bit out because it's in this dropper style. So, I could store it upside down. So that one got a total of 24 points. And now for the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. So for the coverage, this is definitely full coverage. There's no medium about it. It is full right out of the bottle. So I give that a 5 out of 5. And then for the finish, it dries down not as matte as the Cover FX Power Play, but it's good enough for me, so I gave it a 5 out of 5. And the longevity, this lasts probably longer than the Cover FX one, I would say, just because it is so thick and like it's a little bit a thicker formula than the Cover FX, so still give that a 5 out of 5. And the shade range of this is amazing as well, so I give that a 5 out of 5. And then for the packaging, the pump on this is not good. It clogs up and sometimes it doesn't work very well, and some people say that theirs doesn't even work, period. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 for that, because I like that it's in the bottle that's easy to get the last little bit out of there. So overall that one got a 24 out of 25 as well. The number 2 spot is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. This is the newest one in my collection. It just released not that long ago, but it is quickly becoming a favorite. For the coverage on this, totally unexpected for a CC cream, but the coverage was 5 out of 5. Like it is full coverage if you want it to be. And then for the finish of it, it is a natural finish. It's not going to dry down totally matte, but it is matte enough for me. And for the formula and packaging, I'm not a huge fan of this squeezy tube, but I feel like all CC cream comes in this tube style. There must be a reason for that, but I don't know what it is, but I docked points for that, so I can give it a 4 out of 5, just because it's kind of hard to get out of there, like once it starts to get low. And for overall shade range, I gave them a 3 out of 5. There's only 20 shades of this, and it is not sheer enough to cover a multitude of skin tones with one shade. So that kind of stinks, but overall this was a great product. If you can find your shade in it, go for it. So this one got a 22 out of 25. The number 3 was actually a surprise. So this is the Milani Screen Queen Foundation. So for coverage on this is marketed as a light to medium coverage. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just don't prefer that. I prefer my foundations to have a medium to full coverage. So for that, I gave this product a 2 out of 5. And for finish, I actually did like the finish of this, so I gave that a 5 out of 5. And Milani says it is a natural finish foundation. And I agree, it is not totally matte, but I could get away with wearing it without powder. The longevity, just because it is, I feel like natural finish and like sheer foundations don't last as long. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 for the longevity. For the formula and packaging, I don't have any complaints there. I gave it a 5 out of 5. In the pump style like I like, and it doesn't have a scent. So in the overall range, I gave them a 5 out of 5. This one is a little bit more sheer, so it could cover more skin tones within the same shade, and they do have quite a few. So I do like this foundation. If you prefer this kind of like lighter coverage, then go for it. That was really the only thing that I didn't like about it. That and it didn't last too long, but it's still good. Like I would still wear it. Just maybe not if I have a lot of breakouts. And that one got 20 out of 25 points. And the next one I'm actually wearing today, this is the Uma Say What foundation. The formula of this is going to vary depending on which shade grouping that you're in, so just be mindful of that. For the coverage, I gave this a 4 out of 5. It didn't totally cover a lot of stuff, like I have this big honker right here today that it did not cover all the way, but it's still decent. In the finish, I gave a 4 out of 5. It is definitely a more natural finish, but I don't think I could get away with not powdering it. Longevity, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. But for the formula, I gave it a 2 out of 5 because I just don't like the smell. Like I can't deal with the smell, so I took a lot of points off for that. And I kind of can smell it throughout the day, so that's another, like, I don't know. The shade range on this is amazing, so I gave that a 5 out of 5. So that was a total of 19 points for that one, so not too far behind the Milani one. Right now on to the bottom 2. The second to last one is the KVD Vegan Beauty True Portrait Foundation. And this is a liquid to powder formula. For the coverage on this, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was not that great. And I believe they market it as a medium coverage. And for the finish of this was kind of iffy. It definitely dries to that matte formula, like it says liquid to powder, but not in a good way. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. I feel like that was being kind of generous. It just kind of dried too much and it settles into like dry patches and things. And the longevity, because of that matte like powderiness, it didn't really last very long, so I gave it a 3 out of 5. For the formula and packaging, I gave it a 2 out of 5 because like the packaging is not awful, but it's that squeezy tube like I mentioned before with the Cover FX one, but the formula just is not good. Like whenever you put this on and then you want to blend out your under eye concealer, it totally removes the foundation from around where you put the concealer, so that's not good. But the shade range, I gave them a 5 out of 5. KVD Vegan Beauty does have a decent shade range. So this one got a total of 17 points. And I was surprised about the last two because I thought they would be switched. So the very last is the Pacifica Alight Clean Foundation. And I have two shades of this one because I got the wrong one the first time and the second one was still wrong, but if I mix them together, it's fine. So for coverage, I gave these a 5 out of 5. It is definitely a medium to full coverage. And for the finish, I gave it a 2. It says on the packaging, oil-free anti-shine satin finish. This is like dewy. Like it's kind of cakey and thick almost. I don't think it's anti-shine at all. I could not go without powdering it. I feel like even if I do powder it, it doesn't help. And because of that, that affects the longevity, so I gave it a 3 out of 5. For the formula and packaging, I gave it a 3. So the packaging is decent, like it's not bad. But the smell, this has a scent that's weird. Like I almost prefer the scent of the Uma Beauty one to this. I don't like it. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 for that. And the overall shade range, I gave them a 2 because this does not have that many shades. Like I give them credit. It's a lot for a natural brand. Most natural brands have like 4 shades of foundation and they have quite a few, just not, it's not very good and they don't go very deep. So the total for the Pacifica one, I give that a 15 out of 25. So that was the ranking for all of my foundations. I mean, none of these are terrible. Like I would wear them. The ones on the bottom of the list I would maybe wear to film and that's about it. But the other ones I would wear all day if I had places to go right now. Like if I ran out of one and needed to replace it immediately, I probably wouldn't replace any of them right away. Just because I feel like the first 3, like the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, Cover FX Power Play, and the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream are all good, like on their own. Like they're not, I kind of nitpicked for this, but they're all decent. And I didn't mention with the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream, but it does have SPF, and I don't think any of the other ones do. This Milani one has a blue light filter. I don't know if that's even a thing, like if that's kind of a marketing thing. But the e.l.f. one is the only one that has SPF, which is not even enough to really help, but it's something. Like, don't rely on your foundation for SPF. Use actual SPF, please. So let me know if any of your favorites were on this list or if there's any that you like that were not on here, and let me know and I'll check it out. Even though I have my set preferences, even if a foundation is not exactly what I like, I'm still open to trying it. Because sometimes I need to step out of my like matte makeup hole or whatever you'd call that. Like I need to open up more to not matte products. So click up here to watch my most recent video or click over here to watch another one that I think you will like. And give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss seeing my face in your subscription box every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Links to my blog, my social media, and my business will be in the description box below, and I will see you guys in the comments. Bye.